the concept of duality is what I am going to introduce in this presentation. So, duality you can call it in mathematical programming or in fact any problem in real life. What is this duality? All right, as a human being, we take food. Now the food, the importance is vitamin, the content of vitamin. The minimum intake of vitamin should be satisfied. Minimum intake, at least that much protein should be taken. And then carbohydrate, so many things, carbohydrate. And then there are so many things, minerals, all these things. A minimum quantity of all these things are required for a balanced food. So there are manufacturers who will be just processing items and selling. They will be containing certain cases vitamins alone, certain cases protein, certain cases minerals, and so on. Now, as consumers, what we do is try to get these minimum requirements satisfied by minimizing our expenditure towards purchase of these items, minimizing expenditure. So minimum, therefore there are requirements of all these quantities, certain minimum at least is required, and therefore we had to spend to purchase money for purchasing these items. Items would mean we are not buying vitamins, rather processed food containing these vitamins, then protein, carbohydrate, minerals, and so on. So when we try to minimize our expenditure, satisfying the requirements of these items, the manufacturers of these items, so we are looking at, this is from the point of view of the consumer. Then there are manufacturers of these items. They look at maximizing their profit. By way of selling the products. And then, maximizing the profit would mean pricing these items. But then they had to convince the consumers that the minimum requirements of their needs are satisfied by taking these items. So accordingly, but then they require raw materials to manufacture the food items. Now how to maximize their profit, because they too have expenditure to buy the raw materials, procure the raw materials, then manufacturing process will be again consuming certain amount of money. So how to then maximize their profit after meeting all this expenditure? So that is the problem of the manufacturer. This sort of things occur in our day-to-day life, in commerce, in economics. Now you take any branch of study, you can see the presence of the maximization and minimization. Corresponding to a maximization problem, there is a minimization problem. Now, suppose we are looking at a maximization problem, then there is another set of persons Here we call them consumers, they try to minimize. So the problem that they have, minimizing the expenditure by meeting the requirements, that problem will be referred to as the dual of the problem of the manufacturer, dual of manufacturer's problem. So the manufacturer's problem we call primal problem. Now this is best explained through the following example. You might have heard about what is called a transportation problem. I'll introduce this. It's not the transport problem that we face, it's the transportation of items, goods, or whatever, commodities. So transportation is that of commodities, manufactured items. The problem is something like this. A manufacturer of certain items, certain item, it may be TV manufacturing or motor cars or bike and so on. So he has, let us say, a certain number of plants, PLANTS, that means production plants, I will call it like that, production plants located at different parts of the country. So manufacturer has the production plants located at, let us say, P1, P2, so on, PM. There are M production plants located at M distinct places of a country. And then, see, the produced items are to be taken to the retail outlets. They are to be taken to retail outlets, and or you can call them destinations. I will call them destinations. So D1, D2, so on, n destinations. For example, M can be equal to 5. There are 5 plants, manufacturing plants, and the retail outlets or destinations may be numbering 7. Now, the manufactured items are to be transported to the various destinations in such a way that the total cost of transportation is to be minimized. Total cost of transportation to be minimized. That is the problem of the manufacturer. Now, how to formulate that problem? That is the question that will be arising. So, we just look at how much items are manufactured in each plant and how much are required at the various destinations or retail outlets. So, we call them availability and requirements. Availability at the origins. Origin means the plants. So based on availability, so P1, a certain amount is available, number of items available, P2, so on, PM. So I will call them respectively A1, A2, so on, AM. We consider them as units, 1 unit, 2 units, that is integer, positive integer quantity. A1, A2, etc. AM are positive integers. For example, as I considered here, if m equal to 5, then P1, P2 up to P5, corresponding availabilities are A1, A2, so on, A5. So this A1 can be 10, A2 can be 12, A3 can be so on. So this can be 20 as an example. And then the requirements at the destinations, destination requirements. So the destinations are D1, so on, Dn, and the requirements we denote respectively by R1, R2. So I have a P sub I here with the availability A sub I. Dj is the jth destination, there the requirement is R sub j and this is R sub n. These are again positive or non-negative integers, and we consider them as essentially positive integers. So this may be 5, so on. Anyway, there will be, okay, 10. Just put it as 15. Now, suppose what is available is more than what is required, so there is an excess availability. If what is required exceeds what is available, then there is a shortage. We will assume the problem to be balanced in the sense that sum of the availability, that is the total, sum total of this availability equal to sum total of the requirements R1, so on, R1 plus so on, Rn. So what is available? Sum of these things will be adding to the sum of the quantities required, the requirements at the destinations. So then this, if this criterion is satisfied, the problem is referred to as a balanced transportation problem. I will designate transportation problem as TP. So this is a balanced transportation problem. If it is not balanced, that means if either A1 plus A2 plus so on that is less than the sum of the requirements, then it is unbalanced. In the reverse case also, if it is greater than, again it is unbalanced. We assume the problem to be a balanced one, because that would be the one that we will try to solve, or at least I will indicate how we can go ahead with that. The other case where it is unbalanced, we can introduce some sort of artificial availability if what is total availability is less than a requirement, and if the requirement is less than the availability, then again it is unbalanced. So then you have to just bring in some fictitious destinations to make it balanced, and therefore that part is not a problem at all. Now, more than just telling you how to solve this problem, what I want to introduce is the concept of duality. How the duality problem arises in this transportation problem. What is the nature of that dual problem? Well, I indicated that the manufacturer's problem is minimizing the total cost of transportation. But then, what is the total cost of transportation? So for that, we have to introduce some variables. Let us say a quantity x sub I j. There are two suffixes for x, I and j. These are variables for I varying from 1 to m and j varying from 1 to n. So if I equal to, m equal to 5, then this is 1 to 5. So x1 j, x2 j, so on x5 j. And similarly, fixed j, fixed j say for example 1, then this will be x1 1, x2 1, x3 1, so on. And then if you fix I and vary j, so x1 1, x1 2, so on x1 n. And then you can, depending on the values of m and n, that many variables. So what will be the total number of variables? So total number of xij's will be equal to m into n. For example, if m equal to 5 and n equal to 7, then 5 into 7. So 5 into 7, which is equal to 35. That many variables are involved. So consider a situation where m equal to 1000, because most of the problems involve very large number of variables, and n equal to 5000. You can then imagine the magnitude of the problem. That is, the number of variables will be equal to 1000 into 5000. So 5000 into 1000 means another 3 zeros. So this many variables will be involved in a problem where the number of manufacturing plants is 1000 and number of destinations, the retail outlets, equal to 5000. So it's a very huge problem. That means in terms of the number of variables involved. And then there is another entity, what is called, I am going to write it as Cij. Now what is this Xij? I have to define that Xij. Xij is the number of items, manufactured goods, transported from the ith origin, that means Pi, ith plant, namely Pi, to the jth destination, that means Dj. So Xij is the quantity. I define that variable as the number of items transported from Pi to Dj. Xij equal to number of manufactured items transported from plant Pi to the retail outlet or destination Dj. So now we can vary I from 1 to m, j from 1 to n to get m into n variables. And having defined that, so this is the number of items transferred. But then what is that number? That we have to compute. That we assumed them to be non-negative integers. So Xij's are invariably non-negative and integers. That means take either the value 0 or 1 or 2 and so on. Then we introduce another, that is not a variable essentially, it is a known quantity. So these are variables because they are actually the quantities to be determined. How much should be transported from the ith origin to the jth destination. And we know the transportation cost per unit item. So suppose one item is transported from Pi to Dj, then the cost of that transportation is Cij. So this is cost of transporting one item from Pi to Dj. For I taking values from 1 to m, j taking values from 1 to n. So these known quantities Cij's are again m into n in number. So there are as many costs as the number of unknown variables. That means the number of these things to be determined, and these costs, the number of the two things are the same. Now what is the problem? Once I write that, I can then, and then some what are called constraints. Once I do that, I can construct the dual problem. I have to give a meaning for the dual problem. That is more important. In fact, the problem that I was telling about the balanced food, well, that does not actually explain the whole idea in a very clear fashion. So I thought this would be a better way of presenting the concept of duality in mathematical programming. So now let us look at the total cost. When Xij units are transported from the plant Pi to the destination Dj, the retail outlet Dj, with each unit of the item having transportation cost Cij, so the cost of transporting Xij items from Pi to Dj is Cij times Cij into Xij. Cij into Xij. So this is a cost associated with, this is cost associated with cost of transporting Xij units from from Pi to Dj. Because each unit costs Cij. So if Xij equal to 0, then all right, this is equal to 0. Xij equal to 1, this is just a Cij, and so on. But then what is the total cost of transportation? This is equal to the total cost of transportation. That means the amount that the manufacturer has to spend for transporting these items, the available items to the various destinations. This stands for summations. One is with respect to j. First summation, I call it 1 to m. The second one, 1 to n. J varying from 1 to n because there are j destinations. That means I varied j, keep fixing this I, and then vary this I, fix j, you get 1 to m, I varying from 1 to m. This is the total cost of transportation. Now this is to be minimized, that is the problem of the manufacturer. So the problem looks quite simple, but then the manufacturer has the big task of finding the optimal way of distributing the items to be transported from each plant to the various destinations. What will be the optimal value? For example, I am going to now use Xij star as the optimal value of Xij in the sense that if this much is transported from the ith origin to the jth destination, then this can be minimized, this product, or Xij replaced by Xij star multiplied by this will be minimum. But you may ask, why not just consider the case of 0? But that is not going to settle the problem, because there is a requirement at the destination. So there is a set of constraints now we have to write. So our objective is to find out the optimal values of these variables, because Xij's are the unknowns. We have to determine them. But how they can be determined? By solving a number of equations or inequations. So I am going to write what are called the constraints. Constraints based on, what are the constraints? Obviously the variables are all non-negative integers. So constraints based on availability. What is available? More than what is available cannot be transported. That is the simple idea behind this. More than what is available cannot be transported. That means you can transport only as many items as is available. So we write constraints based on that. I take the ith plant. The ith plant, the availability is, in the ith plant, the availability is A sub I. And then the requirements at the various plants. So how many items are transported from the ith plant to the jth destination? That is Xij. But now I am fixing I. For example, I equal to 1. That means that x1 with j varying from 1 to n, x1 1 plus x1 2 plus so on x1 n. So if n equal to 7, then this will be x1 1 plus x1 2 plus so on plus x1 7. This cannot be larger than a1. So this is at most equal to a1. So I write less than or equal to. I write here less than or equal to because more than what is available cannot be transported, or at most this much quantity can be transported from the ith plant to the, or first plant to the various destinations. Now instead of 1, suppose I replace that by I. So xi1 plus xi2 plus so on xin. This is less than or equal to ai. Now I can write I varying from 1 to m for the m plants. So with m plants, ith plant, what can be transported is at most equal to this much. So we have an xij general element here. So xi1 so on plus xin less than or equal to ai. Now we go for, so this is for 1 to I varying from 1 to m. Therefore, we have just written all possible constraints based on availability. Now based on requirements, I am going to write the constraints, and then I can immediately go for the dual, define the dual problem associated with that. And that is based on a very clever argument. So I am going to write now the constraints based on the requirements at the various outlets. Now, therefore, fix j, that means the jth destination. For example, j can be equal to 1. Destination dj. So it can be j equal to 1 to n. So first I write, assume that j equal to 1. For j equal to 1, so we have d1, this is d1, first destination. What is transported from the various plants to the fixed destination d1 should be at least as much as is what is required there. The requirement there is R1 because it is D1. So R1 is the requirement. So at least that much should be transported. So I am going to write at least, and therefore it is that what is transported should be at least equal to this. So what is that I am going to write here? The total quantity transported from the various plants to the destination D1. So that means I am going to fix the second suffix because j equal to 1. So x1 1 plus x2 1 plus so on x m1. See, earlier we fixed I, that is the ith plant we have taken pi, and then I equal to 1, this relation we got. So now it is the jth destination. So for example, j equal to 1, we have this. And why it is greater than or equal to? Actually we need just to write R1, it should be exactly, but this is for certain specific purpose that we write it as greater than or equal to R1. That is, at least that much is transported. More than that we are not going to accept. And therefore, in general, for the jth destination, it is going to be x1j plus x2j plus so on xmj. This is greater than or equal to R sub j. So j varying from 1 to n gives us all the constraints based on this thing, requirements at the various destinations. So j equal to 1 to n. So far, well, there is nothing big. And even what I am going to say following this, that will not be anything big, but the concept is something quite interesting. So I will stress on that part in my presentation. So now what is therefore the manufacturer's problem is actually to minimize this one subject to the constraints, m constraints here and n constraints here. Suppose m equal to 1000, n equal to 5000. So the number of constraints will be 5000 plus 1000 plus 5000, which will mean 6000 constraints you will get. M plus n equal to 6000 and number of variables? M equal to 1000, n equal to 1000, we have seen the value of m into n. That is very large, 5000 into 1000. So that many variables, so solving for the values of, the xij, I varying from 1 to 1000, j varying from 1 to 5000. So total of this many variables, we have to find out the optimal values. Not individual optimal, because this is a collective, because it is subject to these constraints, not of a single variable. This is a multivariable problem. But the advantage that we have here is that xij's are non-negative integers. So it is something what is called, now you can notice that the constraints are all linear. All these variables have coefficients equal to 1. Here again, these inequations, the coefficients of all the variables turn out to be 1. Not all the variables, say for example here x11, so on x1n. So the transportation problem, the problem of the manufacturer is minimization of this cost. But just the minimization of cost subject to those constraints and the non-negativity restriction, integer restriction. That is what the manufacturer is aiming at. So minimization of this total cost, minimize. Now minimize would mean that he has to solve such a large scale problem. That is one thing. Second is, then he has to bother about the transportation. Once it is solved, the minimum cost is obtained, the corresponding variables that provides the minimum is also identified, then things are settled. But then he has to now go for the transportation of the items. That is again a very huge botheration. Okay, now I am going to bring in a nationwide transportation company. Nationwide transport company that who takes care of this transportation. Just like we have the goods transport system, TVS, or there are some other transport company. So nationwide transport company approaches the manufacturer. The chief of the nationwide transport company or the manager goes to the manufacturer, says, okay, we will purchase all items, available items from the various plants, P1 to PM. We buy. I am prepared to buy all items from the various plants, and I will deliver that to the various destinations D1, so on Dn. I will buy items from each of these plants. There are A1 items here, so on AM at PM. The manager of the nationwide transport company approaches the manufacturer, saying, okay, we are going to buy all the items, available items from the various plants. So he has now fixed the cost of purchase of these items from the various plants. Similarly, then after purchasing, we will deliver these items according to your requirements at the various destinations. That is in fact important. So purchase all these items. Here it is purchase, and here it is sell. Delivering would mean sell. It is not just taking there. More than that, because these items are purchased from the plants, naturally there will be a selling process, the reverse process. So sell at the various outlets or the destinations. So there will be a cost, selling price. So sell, then purchase cost I will introduce, and similarly I will introduce the selling price. So let me therefore introduce first the purchase price, and it is there that the trick will be lying. He is buying, and therefore, so what should be those are the variables. I am going to call them purchase prices as lowercase p sub 1. Each item, so this is purchase cost per unit item. Per unit item, so per item. From plant 1 item is purchased at the price P1, and therefore the total cost when all the A1 items are purchased is A1 into P1. Each one costs P1, so A1 items are purchased, so A1 into P1. Similarly, P2, there are A2 items, P2 is the purchase cost, so A2 into P2. So on, from the plant PM, there are AM items available, and the purchase cost is P sub M. So this unit purchase cost is P1, P2, so on PM. So total purchase cost, how much it comes? Total cost. This is equal to A1 P1, A2 P2, so on AM PM. A1 into P1 plus A2 into P2 plus so on AM into PM. Then the selling side we look at. So we have the destinations D1 so on Dm, D sub n, and selling price per unit item. No, the requirements are R1 so on Rn. Then what is the selling cost? That I am going to. So this actually this P1, P2, all these things are to be determined. They are essentially variables. They are not fixed for the time being by the transport company. The manager does not actually fix them now. He will suitably adjust such that this P1, P2, so on Pm, and what I am going to introduce now, that is the selling price at these destinations, selling price of each item. So per unit, selling price per unit. In destination D1, an item is sold per unit, it is S sub 1, selling price. So on, at Dn, one item is sold at the price S sub n. So we have a Pi here, Ai correspondingly Pi, therefore we have Ai Pi as the general element. So here we have a Dj, jth destination, we have an Sj corresponding to that. Now look at the total selling price, how much it will come to. It is the sum of the products of the corresponding quantities, because R1 items sold at D1 at the price S1 per unit of item. That means R1 into S1 will be the total amount that he is going to receive by selling R1 items at destination D1. Then we have R2 D2, R2 S2, so on. The jth element in this is Rj S Sj plus so on, plus finally Rn into S sub n. So this is the total selling price. Now this is the amount that is spent for purchase. This is the amount that is gets on selling these items at the various plants. And of course that available subject to the requirements. He cannot just dump all the A1 items at D1. That may not actually work. So he purchases the item from each plant. At a particular plant, each unit is purchased at the cost A1. So on mth plant it is Pm. Similarly, the selling cost, selling price, so this is an income for the transport company, whereas this is an expenditure. For the manufacturer, it is the expenditure alone, and therefore that expenditure we are trying to minimize. Minimize this sum, subject to the constraints that I have written. Now, therefore, how to convince? Okay, will the manufacturer oblige to the contract? Well, he will oblige to that, or he will accept that contract provided the transport company, nationwide transport company manager can convince him a certain thing. That is going to be the crux of all these things. Okay, so what is the trick? Now, P1 is the purchase cost per item in from plant P1. Similarly, S1 is the selling price per item at a destination or the retail outlet D1. Now, with P1 and so on Pm and S1 so on Sn, we are going to play. So, these are now going to be the variables that the transport company has to find out the optimal values P1 so on Pm, S1 so on Sn. The optimal values of this collectively, not individually, the nationwide transport company manager has to compute the optimal values of this. That would provide him the maximum profit. So, what is his profit? The profit of the transport company. Obviously, he is not going to go for this provided total purchase cost from the various plants exceeds or even equal to, even that case exceeds or equal to the total selling price. In that case, he is not going to get any profit. So, the profit is equal to, now because this is an expenditure, I am going to write them in a bracket with a negative sign outside the bracket. So, A1 P1 plus so on plus AM PM. That is negative sign because it is something that he is shelling out from his pocket. Now, the selling price, that is his profit, his income. I don't say it is a profit. So, being income, I am going to give it a positive sign. So, R1 S1 plus so on plus Rn Sn. So, the difference between the two quantities of this and this is going to be the profit of the transport company. So, the problem is how to find out this P1 so on Pm, S1 so on Sn. That is the main problem. But there are constraints also. Just as the earlier case, we can write down the constraints. But then I am going to speak more about, suppose the manufacturer is willing to give this contract to this transport company. But then he should be convinced that going for transporting these items on his own will be a botheration for him, and therefore it is better to leave this to the transport company because he can be free from the botheration of transport and further computing the optimal distribution of the quantity to be transported from the various plants to the various destinations. So, the optimal values of these things he need not have to worry about, and also then finally the transporting part. Computation of this alone is not sufficient. Then the transport part is still remaining. Whereas the nationwide transport company, they are familiar with this job, so they do it. And so, now convincing part. How to convince? How to convince the manufacturer? That leaving this transportation job to the transport company is better than doing it himself. So, the company should find out a way of convincing that. Just to look at the interesting thing, CIJ is the cost of transporting one item from ith plant to the jth destination. I will write here. CIJ is the cost of transporting 1 unit of the item from plant PI to the jth destination DJ. Then, we just play with Pi here and Sj here. And that is the trick essentially involved in the mode of convincing the manufacturer that leaving the transportation job to him is always better, to the transport company is better for the manufacturer. So now the purchase price is Pi. So because it is purchase, I will give a negative sign here per unit item, and then the selling price is at the jth destination is Sj. It is selling price and therefore it is an income for him. So this is the profit that he is going to get by purchasing one unit from ith origin, ith plant and selling at the jth retail outlet. Now if we can convince tell the manufacturer, okay, this is better. How to convince him? The best way of convincing the manufacturer is to tell him that I am not going to take any profit more than what you are going to actually spend for the transportation. So this is the trick that the manager of the nationwide transport company is going to employ. I purchase at the price Pi from the ith plant, sell it at the price Sj at the jth destination, but then look at this minus Pi because that is what I am spending and therefore I have given a negative sign, and Sj is the selling price at your jth destination. I am getting, it is an income for me. So if this sum means essentially it is Sj minus Pi. If that is less than or equal to Cij, that means that the manufacturer could be convinced that if he is going to do the transportation job, he has to spend sometimes something more than what the transport company is going to take as profit. This is the profit that the transport company is getting by purchasing one item from ith plant and selling at the jth retail outlet. So he is now telling through these mathematical equations, simple relations, he is convincing the manufacturer that he is not going to get a profit which exceeds the transportation cost that the manufacturer is going to bear if he is doing that business on his own. So the manager, by this simple trick, convinces the manufacturer that it's always better to leave the transportation part to the nationwide transport company than doing it on his own. So two advantages are there. One is he need not have to bother about the optimization of the transportation cost. And second thing is, that means a very large scale problem he need not bother solving. The second part is that not only that botheration he is getting out of, the second part is, after all, even when he computes the optimal values of all these variables, m into n variables, he has to finally transport the items. If that botheration is also, he is also free from that botheration. So two botherations he is going to come out, provided the transportation job is left to the transport company. So this is for I equal to 1 to m and j equal to 1 to n. So how many constraints that we get? That is something interesting. The number of constraints that we are going to get is I equal to 1 to m. So for example, if it is first origin, first plant, then varying the second j, so P1 minus P1 plus S1 is less than or equal to C11. minus P1 plus S2 is less than or equal to C1 2. So you get M, no, how many? N such constraints. Similarly, vary over I varying from 1 to M, J varying from 1 to N. So M into N constraints that we are now going to get, whereas M plus N was the number of constraints in the previous problem. Here it is going to be M into N constraints. And number of variables? Number of variables here is M plus N, because there are M variables, the purchase cost from the various plants, and N selling prices at the various destinations. So totally there are M plus N variables. So M into N constraints in M plus N variables. You can just see that it is, well, what we have is M plus N constraint, no, M plus N constraints. So here we have M into N constraints. M into N variables, so M into N constraints. And then what is the other one? M plus N variables. The number of variables in this is equal to, the number of variables in this is equal to the number of constraints here, and the number of variables in this is equal to the number of constraints in this. So the dual side part is not that. One is a maximization problem, the other is a minimization problem. So what is the maximization problem that the manufacturer has? That also I should say, and then I can stop there. Because for the manufacturer it is the minimization of the total cost of transportation. For the transport company it is the maximization of the profit. Oh, I have already written here the profit. Profit is equal to this, and therefore find optimal values of P1 so on Pm. That means the purchase price, purchase cost of items from the various plants, and this S1 so on Sn, that those are the selling prices. So this is the profit. So this maximization is the problem of the transport company. So the other one was minimization problem. This is a maximization problem. So one can be called primal problem, other is called the dual. So if you call the problem of the manufacturer as the primal, then the problem of the transport company is the dual. So that is how that duality comes. So duality, wherever there is a maximization problem, you can find correspondingly a minimization problem also, or the other way around. This is the principle of duality in mathematical programming problem. Okay, I stop with that.